everyone, it's Marissa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and I'm here again with another requested video talking about the ways that we reduce EMFs in our home or for ourselves. So I don't consider myself an expert on this topic. I have done some reading and I have made an effort to do some things in our home and for ourselves as far as reducing the effects of electromagnetic fields or electromagnetic radiation. And so I thought this was a great topic. Thank you for suggesting it. And as always, if you have video suggestions, leave me a comment down below. And let's jump in, and I'm gonna share just kind of some of the things that we do to try to make a difference in this, what can feel very overwhelming thing to try to deal with. So first off, a couple of books that I have read that are kind of the basis for the things that I try to do and kind of educated me a little bit on the situation with EMFs and the radiation around us. So the first one is An Electronic Silent Spring by Katie Singer. This one you have to be kind of careful. If bad news gets you down, you do have to be kind of careful with this one. It's very thorough. She pretty much lays out the whole situation of EMFs, and this was written years ago now, to where, yeah, 2014, to where 5G and the different new technologies that are out there, it's already worse than what she explains in here. But she talks about how unnatural and abnormal all of the wireless technology is that we have these days and the effects that it has on basically our planet and our bodies and everything. And so, I mean, it's good to know, but I know for myself, I have to be careful to not be like overwhelmed and down thinking about this, and just realize that, you know, there are things that we can do practically. There are things in our control that we can make a difference with. There are things that we cannot control, and we just kind of have to know the difference and not worry about what we can't control. So that one is good if you're wanting lots of information about the dangers of EMFs. And then this one is definitely not so heavy. It's more practical and upbeat and just like, here's a lot of solutions. So this can be really good. That by Anne Louise Gittleman, I think is how you say that. But so this one has lots of practical tips on overcoming, you know, avoiding the effects of EMF. And so both of those I do recommend if you want to learn a little bit more about this situation. So some people are more sensitive to these things than others. There are people who can't tell anything at all, and they might think that anybody who has a concern like this is crazy. But for those people, I just want to say that it is a real concern. There are sensitive people who are sensitive to these things, and it does make a difference in how they feel. So if you're somebody who doesn't think that these things are real, just realize that there are people out there who are more sensitive, and these things are for sure a real concern. And with that in mind, how sensitive a person is will kind of dictate how much they need to do usually. And for us, I have noticed better sleep and different things if I do some of these things. So for us, it is a real concern, but we're not as sensitive as some people I know who have to live in certain places or have special like bedding canopies so that they can actually sleep, and we're not that sensitive. So there's definitely a wide spectrum here of options and things that you can do. We're pretty low key when it comes to it, but we do some things that I think are, you know, have been helpful for us and that I do want to share. One little acronym that I recently came across that I thought was really helpful when thinking about how to mitigate or, you know, reduce the effects of EMFs in your home or for your person, family. And the acronym is the 3 Ds for distance, duration, and disconnect. So that's really what I've done, is try to do those different things. So as far as distance, we keep in mind, like, if our phones are going to be on in our house, then I don't keep it like in my pocket on me, on my body. I just leave it over by my bag, and then that way it's not near me. And some other examples are near our beds, we try not to have a bunch of stuff plugged in, electronic devices plugged in right next to where we're sleeping. We put alarm clocks and stuff, lamp over on another end of the room. So distance, keeping yourself from the sources of these things can be really helpful. If you're considering where to live, distance can mean trying to not get a home that's right near a cell tower. I know that for some people that makes a big difference. If you do choose to use Wi-Fi in your house, keeping the router in a place that it's not going to be close to where you're spending a lot of time can be helpful. We'll talk a little bit more about Wi-Fi later though. Basically anything that's emitting these electromagnetic fields or radiation, thinking about how you can put as much distance between yourself and them as possible. So that's one big thing that I've done. Another thing, going on to the next D, duration, is that whenever you are using an electronic device, especially something that has wireless technology, thinking about the duration. So like if you're going to be on your phone, think about, okay, how much time am I spending on this? Is there another way? Like, could I do this same task on a computer or something instead? Just thinking about how much time you're spending with these things and trying to reduce that. So duration is really helpful to think about. And then disconnecting. So we don't use Wi-Fi in general. Every once in a while, if I have to do like a FaceTime call, a special FaceTime call, I would say a handful of times a year, maybe, we'll turn it on and use it. If I have somebody here who wants to use the Wi-Fi, I'll turn it on for them. I try, even if somebody's visiting, to at least always turn it off at night, because that will really make a difference in our sleep. And then, but in general, just not having the Wi-Fi on at all. We just use a wired connection. So Ethernet cables going from the modem or router combination, or just the router, depending on what kind of setup it is, to our computers. There's a way that we have a setup to have a wired internet connection that we can use on a tablet or a smartphone. And I can share some more information about that if you're interested, but I have a few different little connection pieces that make that possible. But keeping the Wi-Fi disconnected for, most of the time is one big thing that we do that's probably kind of different, but we feel like it makes a difference, especially in our sleep. One of the big things that I found helpful at thinking about eliminating or reducing the effects of EMFs and radiation is making as much difference with the things that you do have control over. So in your own home, you can choose to not have the Wi-Fi on. You can't choose that when you go into a store or a restaurant or somebody else's house, but the more that you disconnect these things yourself in the places that you spend a lot of time, that makes a huge difference. And then when you are around it, when you can't do anything about it, then it doesn't make as much of an impact and is not as damaging as if you were exposed to it all the time. So I have found that really helpful and makes it, feel doable. So those 3 Ds, distance, duration, and disconnect, are kind of what I do in our home for eliminating EMF. And I found that really helpful. We do have a couple things that we use. I know about some other things that people have used, like things that you can plug into your outlet and shielding fabric and all different kinds of things. We don't really do any of that because in my research, it seemed like you needed to have an EMF mitigation expert come to your home to make sure that these things are all set up properly, because if they're not, you could actually be causing more harm than good. So I've just kept it pretty low key with following those 3 Ds like I've talked about. And then there are a few products that I've used. One is from this company called Energy Dots. So they make these little things that are supposed to influence your energy field and neutralize the effects of harmful radiation that is around you. So there's a bio dot one that you can wear on your body, on a necklace or something. There is a sleep one that you can put near where you sleep. There's one that you can put in just in your home in a room that's supposed to help with the energy field of that room. They have a few other ones too. Oh, there's also a smart dot that you can put onto your phone or your router or any kind of a wireless thing to help change that energy field to a better one instead of a damaging one. So I don't know a whole lot about that technology, but they're pretty inexpensive, pretty affordable, and so it seemed like something that you can do that may make a difference in how you feel. And so we do have a few of those that some of us wear and a few of the different ones around our house. And then another thing that I've done is I have a sweatshirt that is lined with silver threads. It's like silver fabric. So it's like a radiation blocking sweatshirt, and it's inside the hood as well. I will have links to both of these companies, the one where I got the sweatshirt from and then also the Energy Dots company, but they're 2 different companies. And so they also also make baby blankets and different things, other kinds of blankets and stuff. But I got this, and you know, I can't really tell if it makes me feel any different to wear it or not, but I feel like, you know, maybe it's doing some good. Especially when I'm pregnant, I've been wearing this, and you know, maybe it's helpful. As far as buying gadgets and stuff, we haven't really gone into that much. I know that there's more that other people do, but like I was saying, I think that I would have to know a little bit more, or like work with an expert to make sure that I was doing it right as far as the things you can plug into your outlets or shielding fabric or whatever. But you know, we feel good with the way things are, with just like keeping distance from things, wireless things, disconnecting things when we can, and you know, keeping those reasonable measures going seems to work well for us. So that's really what we do in our home for EMFs. I would love to hear what you guys think. Does this sound really crazy to you? Do you do more than this? Where are you at on this? Can you tell a difference in how you feel based on doing these different things? I would love to hear your thoughts, so leave me a comment down below and let me know what you do for EMFs and radiation yourself. Check out that description box to links to different things that I've mentioned, as well as free ebooks and other goodies. If you did like this video and you found it interesting, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else who you think might find it interesting. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.